On top of that, when it comes to, issuing refunds, things of that nature, all those different type of things, I'm not well versed on what, businesses, type of deals they get into with these network providers, credit card network providers. But I would assume, Visa and MasterCard, even though they may charge some of the higher fees, there's great service that comes along with them. Excuse me. Then on top of that, most people don't carry cash. So even if you are saying, okay, people don't have Visa or MasterCard and you're using Discover, let's say, it's not like people have cash and says like, oh, you don't take card? Okay, I'll pay for cash. People don't have the cash option anymore. Maybe 20 years ago that was a thing. If your card was down, people used using checks too. 20 years ago. But if your card machine was down, it's like, okay, that's fine. I'll pay with cash. That's not the option anymore, especially when we're talking about Gen Z. Gen Z might not even know what real cash looks like. They probably think it's the Monopoly. Actually, I'm lying. Shout out to the strippers. I know the strippers in Gen Z. Anyways, I know there's some set of people who know what the money looks like. But I mean, Gen Z for sure is not going to have cash on them. The small set of Gen Z, not that are strippers, but they work, bartenders, servers, things like that, where they get paid in cash. Sure. And you have to think about that too as as millennials and Gen Z become more and more dominant as far as our representation because of the size of our generation, just as the silent generation and baby boomers age out. By age out, I mean they die. Just as time goes on, man, millennials and definitely Gen Z, and I believe is it Gen Alpha? I think the generation after Gen Z, I believe, is Gen Alpha, and they don't have no cash. All they do is pay Venmo, Cash App, all that different type of stuff. They don't have no actual dollar bills on them. All right, and so thinking that these lower fees, I understand how you get to that train of thought, that train of thought, but no, just because the small businesses or just the businesses in general no longer have to pay these higher fees. Let's just say they're paying, like I said, 3%. And so now they're inflating their prices 3% to cover that charge that they have to pay for using, the credit card network, Visa and or MasterCard, or whoever it is. Now let's say they're paying 1%. The prices are not going to go down 2%. As a business owner, I will put my prices down 2%. Hell, I'm gonna keep that margin. I'm gonna keep the 3%. I mean, you already been paying it this whole time. Just keep paying it. I mean, I'm not gonna change my prices on you. Why would I lower them? You're already coming here. All right. I mean, that's what I would do. That's just, sort of tongue in cheek, but in all honesty, in the sense of, though, I'm really saying that just because the businesses have a savings as far as their expenses are going to decrease doesn't mean they're going to turn around and whatever price hike they had because of those expenses, they're going to now, adjust it, so there's no delta between the two. So they had a 2% decrease in the credit card network fees. So now they're going to decrease their prices by 2%. If they inflated their prices, when I say inflate with quotations mark, because of that credit card network fee. That's not how that works. You can't just jump to that comparison. I see how you do it, but you can't. Swipe fees that drive up costs for small merchants and prices for American families are already the highest in the industrialized world. I'll be very clear. We as Americans are just this is numb in the sense of everybody knows it exists. Like we already pay it. I mean, yes, if you're telling me stuff is going to cost less, therefore I'm going to have more money, I'm for it in the general sense of it. But no, people are not struggling financially because of this fee that, Visa, MasterCard, et cetera, are charging when it comes to, using your card. Because that was the case, people would just use cash. All right, if people were that upset, they would just use cash. All right. And this was said by Doug Cantor, an executive committee member of the Merchants Payments Coalition. These names are crazy. In a June 2023 statement, this carefully crafted bill will lead to lower fees and better security while helping merchants hold down prices. I would say that the credit card network fee is not the main thing businesses are concerned about when it comes to their prices. There are other inflationary things like the cost of, their goods, or how about this? I know they're talking about the federal government here trying to make laws. The regulations, the more red tape that the government is putting up that impacts these businesses, especially small businesses. Maybe that is something as well they might want to look to, change instead of, Credit Card Competition Act. Shout out to Senator Dick. That, what do y'all want me to say? Where is that? I just want to verify that that was his name. Yep, Senator Dick Durbin. Shout out to Senator Dick Durbin. Let's see what Senator Dick Durbin looks like. This is Senator Dick Durbin, everybody. The main sponsor for this bill. Yep, Richard Joseph. See, yeah, Joseph Mill. I mean, anyway, no, I'm not being mean to Senator Dick Durbin. I'm just low hanging fruit. LOL. Low. Anyways, here we go. Opponents argue that the Credit Card Competition Act is designed solely to benefit behemoth retailers, and that lower interchange fees may mean less money for funding credit card reward programs. It's out of all the things that Congress has to deal with, is this really something that we want them spending money on? I know there's probably something in the filibuster lane dealing with this because we're talking about credit cards here. But like, I mean, who just leave it as is. Like, we got other issues in the 3% damn fee that Visa and Mastercard are charging these small businesses. Yes, it does impact them. I'm not saying that, trying to make light of it, but I mean, Congress got some other to deal with. All right. How about just the overall red tape when it comes to small business? I think they can find a way to manage the 3% fee. It's not like the fee is 10%. All right. And it's not like the fee's going to different. Just they were saying they want to eliminate the fee, take it from 3% to 0%. That's different. But my assumption is going to be at least 1%. So we're talking about 2%. Which again, small businesses, they would love to have that 2% margin. But I mean, come on, Congress. We got some other stuff that we would love for y'all to figure out. Like maybe the national debt. Anyways, this is saying it's going to impact, large retailers, and it's going to be less money for credit card reward programs. All right. This bill would allow these large merchants to use the cheapest credit card processing option with no requirement to keep customers' data safe. See, this is the thing I'm talking about, data safe or return savings back to them, said Jim Nussel, president and CEO of the Credit Union. Credit Union National Association. All right, CUNA. That's Credit Union National Association. The same thing as FDIC and short for credit unions. Same. So this is the CEO of this. CEO Nussel or Nussel. It's Nussel. Anyways, that was said in January 2020. Excuse me, June of 2023. Interchange is the cost of doing business, right? Merchants like Target and Walmart reap the benefits of credit card usage with immediate payments, protection from fraud, and typically larger purchases by consumers, but don't want to pay the cost of accepting credit cards. Okay. What can you do? Groups on both sides of the Credit Card Competition Act encourage consumers to contact the representative. Okay, contact representative. Electronic Payments Coalition, the Merchant Payments Coalition. This is hands off my rewards. This is crazy. This is crazy that our government is spending time with this. Like these names, like someone sat down and we spent tax dollars so that people could think of these names. Then again, maybe they use AI, maybe not. No guarantee that savings will be passed. Again, I could have told you this. Oh wait, I already told you. Yes, no guarantee that savings will be passed on. You know how much I want to read that part. Okay, if it passes, it's far from certain, right, that this measure will lower prices. It's hot. I mean, I would say it's as close to not going to happen as it's not going to happen. I mean, my goodness. More than a decade ago, Senator Durbin also sponsored legislation that reduced swipe fees on debit card purchases, known as the Durbin Amendment to the 2010 Dodd-Frank Act. It differed from the current proposed measure. Credit Card Competition Act would not directly cap swipe fees. Still, when Durbin's measure passed, supporters made the same argument. Because merchants would now save on the fees, they pass along those savings to customers.